Welcome to the Sushi Forum, where we discuss this week's news, proposals, and developments in the Sushi Swap ecosystem. Accompanied by Tangle and Orion Muir, as always. Thanks for coming out, everyone. Let's just hop right into some of the news. This week, 8 LP types got added to Imprimax Finance on Polygon, which is a yield farming platform. So you can basically put your LP tokens in there and leverage up to earn a higher amount of sushi yield. You can, it was 490% APR on the sushi ETH pool. So that's pretty good returns for now. Also, we got sushi on Tokamak. They were doing their core vote, which is basically to allocate liquidity. Tango, do you know more about like sort of the liquidity stuff going on with Tokamak? I vaguely understand it as basically there'll be incentives for the Tokamak protocol liquidity to be moved into the partner projects, or is it specific token pairs? I'm just a little bit late on
Yeah,
the
I
Tokamak.
think so. Yeah, it's been a while since we had them on here. Just slowly refreshing my memory with all of it. But with because like the token reactors are designed to be kind of like single-sided, more or less, and like still have the Toka tokens on one side and then the other token on the other side. And it was supposed to help with like improving against impermanent loss because it was utilizing the Toka token to, I think, for collateral. Does anybody else know? Is anybody else really familiar with that? But anyways, it was like what we're voting on right now, though, is to have like which reactors are going to be incentivized right out of the gate. I think it's 5 of them right now, and yeah.
Yeah, right now we're at ninth place. So
Shoot, dang.
if you hold Toka tokens, freaking vote, man.
Yeah.
Um, we've got the Show You contracts just got deployed to mainnet a few days ago, and I believe that should be coming out in October pretty soon. Seeing some pretty exciting stuff in the I think it was on the GitHub talking about how it was talking about specifically different functions within the contracts, and one of it was like different types of burnable tokens, and it talked about how one token might be a token that you burn to attend a concert or a gallery, which is pretty interesting. I had not heard anything about like concerts and Show You up till that moment. Sort of curious where that goes. Also got the samurais are now serving the sushi bar, and they're working on incentives to decentralize the process. Pegbit, Maca. So is that basically you guys are just calling the serve sushi like once a day or once every few days for the sushi bar X sushi? Oh, they might be away from the computer. Okay, no worries. Oh, Pegbit's there.
Oh yeah. Actually, when it reaches like a particular amount, for example, like 500k, 400k, when it reaches a particular amount, we just like create a flash broad bundle.
I see. Gotcha. And for the incentives, is do you how much of a is that going to have to be a new sushi bar?
Oh no, we're just trying to like so since gas costs are like involved, we're just trying to like incorporate like POAPs or something, just to like
Oh, I see.
get a leaderboard. Yeah. So anybody can serve up and they can get a particular POAP or like get into like a leaderboard or something.
Yeah, that would actually be great. That sounds,
Yeah, this is just to encourage it and mitigate the gas costs a bit.
some good layer 0 coordination. All right, so we got the Samurai's working on that. And Sushi, we got a Sushi September monthly roundup. This was posted by Truda Hamzik, I think. Truda Hamzik. I think that's how you say it. I actually couldn't access the full article. The URL they posted was like just non-functional, but they had an image and they basically got a recap. Basically, Sushi Swap's now live on Arbitrum, show you NFT metaverse preview, 0x Mackie transitions to advisory role. There was an article by Crypto Alex 17 on why Arca is long on Sushi, and also Sushi Intern is the new intern. Also, this is just a scam warning that we've got a fake Sushi Swap app on Google Play Store. How do you guys catch all this? I guess somebody probably messages you guys about this. I mean,
People get hit by them usually and come in asking for explanation as to what went wrong, and that's usually how we find out. I mean, the vast majority, we've basically eliminated the kind of first-hand scams from this Discord, but ones like that are really effective and difficult to handle, man. Just being put straight onto Google Store, and then people obviously trusting Sushi and thinking that, like with MetaMask, it's okay to input their seed into that. The person who got caught by it, you know, they were like, I would never hand my seed over, but they didn't look at that as a suspect thing. So it's dangerous, man. It's scary. But we definitely managed to get the message out really quickly and hopefully stopped a lot of people from downloading it.
Yeah, just a thought that comes to my mind with that is just encouraging call to actions to people to thumbs down it or to flag it as inappropriate.
Indeed.
Would be great moves in that. But yeah, it's Simpod. They always just come up with a new one. I mean, there's the fake MetaMask not that long ago that got a lot of people. There's so many vectors of attack. So thanks for being on top of it.
Yeah, always love.
also, I just want to give a general reminder to everybody. Sushi Forum is totally open for anybody to come up and be able to talk and, you know, bring up a topic or ask questions if they want. So, yeah, just feel free to raise your hand and we'll bring up anybody who wants to. But moving on, we have a POAP available. Is it POAP or Pope? I guess it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter, but according to Patricio, he had said POAP is the preferred term.
Okay.
But
He also said he doesn't mind which we use, and I'm Pope forever, gang.
Yeah, and there's a lot of these funny things like this. I was just on watching Up Only, and Leishner's on there, and he's like, yeah, he's saying like F and saying G-way, and yeah. I'm like,
G-way.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, this is where I draw the line.
Yeah, yeah.
That's good.
We all draw the line here.
Yeah, and
I'm adopting it.
Hell no.
Yep. So, you know, wherever you're at, but I think for me it's gonna be POAP, Gwei, and ETH. But you know, it's an open world out there. Tomato, right?
What are people calling ETH?
F.
What, F?
Oh, that's right. But basically, we got a POAP available for if you were in the Dona Miso auction, the Dona Sedona Kia. I can't even. I own one of these NFTs, and I don't even know what car it is.
2007 Kia Sedona.
Kia Sedona. Okay, so I was pretty much there. So yeah, but you can't just hold one. You had to have participated in the Miso auction. So.
During, and it's specific to the during the AMA that we were holding, we had kind of a
the AMA specifically in that period.
In that period of time, we opened it up and said, hey, now if anybody that's on the call with us right now, get on the line, you know, pick up the phones, you know, make those, you know, buy those donuts, and if you bought at that time,
that sounds like it was fun.
Yeah, it was a nice, you know, great for the sale-a-thon, and yeah. that was where that all came into play. So I know there's a few people that asked about it and said, "Hey, I bought what the heck?" And yeah, it was just for that certain period of time. There was 56, I think, and there was 3 of them that bought twice in that time period. So yeah, 56 addresses were eligible, and last I looked, there was 35 of them, I think, had claimed.
Gotcha. And also, just since I'm on the topic of POAPs, there's also a Rocket Pool POAP. Our friends at Rocket Pool want to celebrate their mainnet launch on October 6th with us by giving away a collaborative POAP to active Sushi members. This POAP will be used for a 25 RPL. That's their sort of staking and governance token giveaway in 3 days. Yeah. So and you can get these POAPs by going to poap.delivery. It's POAP.delivery. And you should find both the Dona Miso auction. It's like a big list of different projects. You should find the Dona on there, and then also you should find the Rocket Pool on there. I was having issues with some of these direct URLs to the different projects for some reason.
Oh, okay. Yeah, with the Rocket Pool one, they just like picked a bunch of random sushi POAPs, and you only need to hold one of them. So there should be a lot of people eligible. And I believe as of today or momentarily ago, I don't know if it got updated yet, but they've included like the birthday POAP, I think the POAP. So like when POAP came on for their AMA, their POAP is also available or is eligible. And there was one other one too here. I'll have to look back. But yeah, so hopefully it does open up the eligibility for a lot more people. And the raffle, once you have that POAP, then you can go to the raffle, which is at poap.fun/664. You want to get there to that raffle and sign up before, in the next 2 days. And then that way you will be eligible. You're like entered into the contest. So one step gets you and another step enters you. So it's kind of like approval and swap, right? Think of it like that. And yeah, head over there, and then you'll be eligible for that, like you say, the 25 Rocket Pool or RPL.
Sweet. Is this I guess it's a POAP built this raffle function themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, this is all POAP related here. Adding the POAP, AMA POAP, the Sushi First Birthday, and the Save Sushi Pixel Party POAP to the whitelist. So yeah, there should be a lot of people now eligible if they weren't before.
Sweet. All right. Also, just briefly wanted to mention that there's a new article on the Sushi Swap org Medium about Cashi and basically all the functionality of Cashi, and then also talking about the unique benefits and strengths of Cashi lending versus various other popular lending platforms, namely the single-sided single-sided exposure to a lending pair, where you're not exposed to all the assets on the platform, just whatever pair you're choosing, elastic rates, and other things. It's a great article. I recommend you reading it. And also, we had some requests in the features.samurais.io website. We had a request by Reese for the liquidity zapping feature. So basically, when I want to deposit some tokens to a liquidity pair on Sushi, instead of needing the tokens, we should just have it so I can use any token and it automatically swaps the tokens on Sushi Swap and then deposits those. Which I think would be great. Zapper has that themselves for a lot of stuff. Sorry, did I cut somebody off?
Yeah, I was just saying Alpha Leak. That's already in the books with Sushi. I did some user testing for Sushi maybe a month and a half ago, and that was one of the features that was live. One of the many changes in the books.
Oh, hell yeah. And So that's awesome. So that's already coming. Check. And the other one was requested by Tadashi. They wanted to see a liquidation price in Kashi. Because currently, when you create a Kashi position and borrow out, it shows you your utilization ratio, but it doesn't show you like the price that something would have to go to liquidate the position.
That should be pretty easy to do because the meme, a magical internet money, has that's one of the things that they have on their
Yeah.
UI. They're built off of Kashi, so we could literally copy paste them like they're using our software and whatnot.
All right. Before we get to the noteworthy proposals, real quick, is there anything that anybody wanted to bring up or ask a question about?
Just want to mention that I don't have the Sushi Forum 46 and 47 up on YouTube yet. But I just realized that the YouTube one here is going to say 47 as well. Forgot to change it to 48. Sad times. But yeah, the 46, I had some audio issues, but I do have all the recordings from Craig. So anybody that like spoke has their own line of or has their own audio track. So trying to push all those together and they don't line up. Like I can't just like butt all the audio tracks together. It doesn't seem to work. But yeah, if I don't know, I was talking to Zappaccini about it last night, and if anybody has any experience with that or wants to try and be a part of tackling pushing that all together so that we can get that put up in a nice, orderly manner, that would be really helpful. But yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I would also say don't, because it sort of sounds like very intense. Like, or is every audio clip of each person like different lengths?
Yeah, it's not just a matter of like matching, like snapping them together. I thought it was going to be like, oh, well, they should all just start whenever and then they should all end at the same time. So I'd like slid them all together to like end at the same time. No, not going to work. So
Well,
yeah.
you might just say, that episode was lost to the ether. Because I mean, I just don't want to ask somebody to like spend like 4 or 5 hours like listening to audio clips, like trying to losing their mind. At least I would lose my mind doing that.
Yeah, well, and just looking at the AMA text questions here from Zappaccini here, it says like as long as there's a video of when the people actually activate their push to talk, which there is, and yeah, at that point, yeah, it's just a matter of like taking some time and doing that. And if there's, like I said, just yeah, if there's anybody else here that's interested in it, but yeah, Zappaccini, that would be amazing if you can help out with that. But just wanted to open that up and see if anybody is or has ever dealt with such a scenario, and if they've got an easy way to help us with that.
For sure. Yeah, knock yourself out, Zappaccini.
And is anybody familiar with like Instagram filters? We're thinking about building up some filters to add sushi filters for the Insta Sushi Swap. If anybody has like cool ideas around filters or is familiar with them or uses them on a daily basis because they're a super influencer, please reach out to us and maybe give us some ideas or some thoughts around that on maybe content that could be used for it.
I'm a super influencer.
There you go. Well, then we can get your influence. You can tell us how to make filters and what we should put.
I don't use filters because I'm above that.
Yes. Hashtag no filter.
All right, let's move on to proposals and stop goofing off. We got a question from Dan. Or at least he wanted to speak. Danner, you might have to click an additional button to actually get up here after I
look at the top. There should be a green bar up at the top that says come on up. Or there should be that or either a button. Yeah, there it is.
Thanks, y'all. Sorry about that. Just coming up to talk about the flip side proposal once we get there.
Oh yeah, awesome. So yeah, we've got the community-enabled analytics for sushi. I'll just read a very short blurb and I'll sort of let you take it away, and then we can go into questions. So community-enabled analytics is a free analytics solution combined with an extensive bounty program designed to reward community members for learning about, analyzing, and publishing blockchain data. Notable features: SQL queryable, pre-modeled, and labeled data with Visualization Studio, free to all end users. API ready. All data is downloadable via CSV. Multi-chain support. Community requested queries. Community members receive bounty rewards in the native token. So that is a very, very brief overview of what's being proposed here. If you want to sort of give a more thorough explainer about who you guys are and what CEA is, that'd be awesome.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for having us. My name's Avi from Flipside. We're partnerships and governance and a bunch of different things. As you're at any startup, you wear a bunch of different hats. Drake here is on the team. He's a data wizard, magician. You may have seen his dashboards analyses all over Twitter, etc. But yeah, so I guess maybe helpful, a quick background on the company. Flipside's been in the space for over 4 years. Right now, we are a community-focused data analytics and bounty program management team. So what that means is we're providing all of the labeled, modeled data infrastructure in nice little tables that's queryable by SQL. It's an open data layer for anyone who wants to join and access it for free. On top of that, we have kind of two key components: a visualization studio to create your own dashboards, as well as an API solution that a number of our community analysts use to push out into whatever visualization tool they prefer, or dashboards, or research, whatever it is. With that, we run bounty program management. So obviously that solution is free, and we have an extensive team that's supporting that. And then we run bounties on top of it, right? So we've worked with a bunch of awesome teams: Aave, Compound, Uni, a bunch of Terra folks, Thorchain, etc. Basically to run bounties on top of this, we gather bounty requests and needs and tool requests from the community, from the project, the core teams themselves, and then we bounty out these solutions to have them built by community analysts themselves. Right now, we have a community of over 3,000 analysts, and that's been pretty amazing to watch grow. I'll just kind of leave off with, obviously the output of the program, and you can read all these details in the forum post, is the analytic solutions, deep in-depth research, really comprehensive tools like the Uniswap V3 calculator, point in time, scavenger hunts or to drive usage. So the analytics is one output, but one of the major pieces that we're also providing is this idea of bringing and building community. And that's really the heart and soul of everything we do. That's what we drive. That's kind of what we ultimately believe in. So our goal in launching these analytics is to bring new awesome analysts into ecosystems, an educational piece where we're developing and helping new analysts learn and understand new ecosystems. And then obviously, I think one of the biggest challenges in the industry that we're facing, that we're looking to solve, is getting tokens in the hands of people who actually care about the ecosystem and want to help build it out and support it, not just speculate and pump it and dump it. So that's essentially who we are in a quick nutshell. The community analytics, enabled analytics program that we've proposed to Sushi is for $1 million over an annual period. Everything I said is kind of detailed in more specifics there, but generally the idea is to just support the ecosystem in a scalable, community-focused way, as we grow. So I think that pretty much sums it up. I don't know if you want to go to some questions or any thoughts from the crowd.
Yeah, I'm curious. So, how has the initiatives that you've done for Aave and other platforms gone in terms of like how many, or in terms of like on those initiatives, what was the projected or desired scale, and sort of how many analysts do you think you brought into those spaces?
Yeah, totally. So obviously a bit depends on scale of programs. So for For example, we received about $100,000 grant from Aave. For example, that program is still in flight. We've produced some amazing analytics there. For example, one of the risk managers at Aave has a weekly report that she runs, and she's offloading that to us. We're building it to automate that for her. We definitely brought at least hundreds of analysts over there. I don't have the exact numbers here, but I think it really in the proposal itself, we kind of did a ballpark. Over the period, we were bringing 500 new analysts into the Sushi Swap ecosystem. That's based off of projections from previous programs that we've run. I think the size and scale is probably equivalent to Terra, for example. Terra has actually delegated about 30 million worth of Luna to us to run a validator, and from the yield we earn from that, we are funding bounties in a similar way and construct that we would be doing here, but just in grant form for Sushi, which is actually kind of the impetus for Joe kicking this off. So again, I guess just sum it up, the numbers are pretty significant. I think it just depends a bit on size and scale of the programs. Determines kind of the yield and attribution we would get from new analysts.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like those are huge results. Like hundreds of analysts. I mean, that's really very positive results. What do you think is the biggest thing to attribute to that? Is it really just like the sort of token reward structure that you guys basically can offer to these different goals?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, honestly, I think you can't underestimate, and we've just been blown away by the talent that's moving into the space right now, right? Like there are so many analysts, young kids like right out of school, who are looking to find their way, either get a job doing analytics or doing some type of data work with an actual company. But we have kids in our program now who are literally earning a living like just off of bounties themselves. And so I think it's kind of a combination of, listen, if you're going to give away money for work via bounties, you're going to attract people. But the amount of like fervor and the massive wave of people moving into crypto and interested in it has really made our job easy. It's people want to learn and want to get engaged, whether, it's someone that's never touched SQL before, but just wants to learn. We have programs set up for that as well. And so I think that's one thing that we underestimated going in, is the hunger of people. And so we're basically just making it easy for them, right? We're just opening that door up and offering solutions and ways for them to get engaged. And then obviously with that, you're attracting really elite analysts as well, who can build some of these like insane dashboards that have come out, and some of the tools that we've started to build. And sometimes it feels like we're only scratching the surface. We had some dashboards this week come out for Curve and Urine that I'm just like, oh my God, that was just produced in 2 weeks. It's pretty insane. I'm sure Drake has some comments on that, but I think it's really just a combination of the right incentive structures through the bounty programs, and really just people being so interested in crypto that they're flocking to these things.
Yeah, I think like seeing the quality of work that's coming out of the Flipside community is really impressive. And as Avi mentioned, like there's so much hunger, and the way the incentive structures are set up, we basically have this large crew that we can aim at projects. So if we aim that crew at Sushi, there's no telling, what level is going to come out. And as Avi said, we're going to have content bounties. So, folks might write articles about things. I know you guys already have a pretty awesome medium going on, but just evergreen dashboards that are always helpful, like the analytics that Sushi has right now on analytics.sushi, but also topical stuff around like launching a new program and say, Show You comes out and 2.5% of those fees are going to ex-Sushi holders. Like comparing that to what's coming from the DEX would all be really interesting and topical.
You talked a lot about community building. What were some of the avenues that you both recruited that you got your brand out to these emerging college students? It seems like it would be hard for them to find you. So what was your process in community building, and how do you want to help bring that to us?
Yeah, totally. I mean, honestly, it's been a lot of grassroots work. I mean, I don't think there are really many shortcuts that you can take in terms of community building. You really do need to get active in governance forums and discords, telegrams, and just start engaging with folks everywhere. Get your Twitter out there and just show your face and be relevant. We started to build relationships with universities and blockchain clubs and talking to them about getting folks interested in learning. A key piece of what we're doing is educationally focused, right? So it aligns perfectly well with these universities. I think some of them are actually lacking in the curriculum to support, finance or economics majors that are actually really interested in crypto. I think we all know how the wheels of big academia can turn slowly. So they're hungry to look out for other educational resources. And so, yeah, we found a lot of success working with those clubs as well. And so it's just kind of been that like symbiotic thing where we're in the right places in the communities and we're starting to build those relationships with schools where it was a bit lacking.
Yeah, I'm actually just curious on that point because I totally 100% agree and have seen the same stuff. Why are universities, I mean, I can only speak for the US because I live in the US. Well, how are they so like slow on the DeFi stuff? I mean, I guess it's nearing almost 2 years, or 2+ years. It's been like 5 years since MakerDAO, which is really like the start of it.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
I mean, it's the man is like you follow the trail of money. We're talking. I think I jumped in the call earlier when you were talking about distrust of USDC and kind of the holy grail of an algorithmic stablecoin. I think a lot of these universities probably are really bent on sticking pretty close to the status quo. They have their bottom lines, they have their treasuries they're trying to protect, and I think maybe they get pushback if they were supporting and offering classes and aspects of like financial instruments and ways to invest that weren't quite really approved yet or well understood. So I think we're seeing this like weird moment, right, where the establishment isn't quite ready to accept these things, but everyone else is ready to move on and embrace them. And so you see that natural friction, and from that, I think people are starting to respond and pick up the slack where it's missing.
I think too, I went to a good engineering school recently, and the stuff that I was learning was like a decade plus old. A lot of what I learned throughout that point in my life was just outside of school. So looking for places to learn kind of the cutting edge.
Yeah, they don't teach you they don't teach you modern day skills in university anymore, I guess.
It sounds like Drake's getting chased by the cops. I think they're after him.
Yeah.
It's so bad, the sirens here. So bad.
One question I also have, and this might be answered somewhere very clearly, and I might have just missed it, but what is sort of the distinction between what you guys call elite questions and other questions? Sort of how does that distinction go about?
Yeah, that's a great call out. So I would say there's kind of like 3 levels. There's elite, hard, and then easy. So traditional bounties will be rolled out between easy and hard. In a way, we kind of look at the breadth of our analysts and kind of community, and there are new people who need to have some type of level of educational support and onboarding, and queries being written and taught and all that good stuff. And those are where easy bounties are focused. Hard bounties, kind of a way for them to strive. There's a little more incentive through the program to do that. And then obviously the elite bounties are for, as we work through and we start to meet analysts, we find the most elite of the group, and we understand that they're able to produce levels of analytics and products that are, pretty insane. And so that's kind of part of the magic, the art of the bounty program, is to look at whatever our budget is, once we've kind of gleaned all of the community input, or that's obviously continuous, but once we start to look at kind of the needs of the community, then we start to allocate funds to different places. And if there are specific requests or needs that are really, really difficult, but we find that, this group of elite analysts may be able to accomplish it with support from Flipside, obviously, as well, we'll kind of structure it that way. So I think it's a bit of looking at, combining the needs of the community and the needs of the protocol with the want to, grow the overall community base and analysts that are able to analyze and hope that they can grow into elite analysts as well, and throwing that all into a pot and figuring out the best balance of easy versus hard versus elite, and make just, managing the outputs from there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. I guess for the elite problems, is it like there's like it's less a classification of the problem and more of like different tiers of analysts just get exposed to different questions completely.
Yeah, well, I guess yeah. So let me give an example to clarify this a little bit. So one of the things that for the Terra ecosystem, for example, they had a ton of airdrops happening. It was very hard to track exactly what was happening with the airdrops. It required a bit of behavior modeling and some intense data modeling that the average analyst may not be able to do and construct within our data set. And so we spun that out and made it an elite bounty project, knowing we know the levels of our analysts, and then we can evaluate kind of the difficulty of a problem. And then we assigned them to ultimately, build an analysis that was very incredibly well received, shared with all of the Terraform Labs team. And so that's giving you an example. If something comes through, let's say you guys wanted to understand something on Shuyo that was really complex and that, was kind of beyond the natural scope of someone and needed some support from our team, or some expertise that may not be available from like a normal or, an everyday analyst, we would then assign that to the crew and execute on it. So that's kind of where the value judgment comes in from our experience.
I gotcha. Okay, well, I'll wait on my other questions and give people a chance to ask. If anybody's got any question in the audience, feel free to raise your hand and we will bring you up here. It's totally an open forum, open conversation.
I was just curious if you guys work with on-chain data for trading strategies. That just seems like the obvious first place that you take some of this data analysis, like even with DEX data, like comparing centralized exchange price movements to modeling it towards the DEXs and stuff. Is this something that you guys play with or that you have grants for?
I know we have the data construct for it and kind of the labeling for the centralized exchanges and the DEXs. I would defer to Drake a bit on coloring in here a bit on some of the analysis we may be building currently.
So I know we've done stuff in the past for like arbitrage opportunities, where you can kind of look back and see where there were chances to arb. I think, getting that live is going to be tough because that's right, a lot of like bundled transactions that are actually going through doing that type of stuff. It's really in the moment, but I really think that kind of the sky is the limit here. So what you're describing does not seem out of scope at all. The other thing that's really nice is Flipside's really good about bringing in data from multiple sources. So if we needed to, find another data source for, like, I don't know that all the centralized exchange data is going to be like on-chain data because it's likely trading in their buckets. But if there are data pipelines, that's something that can be looked at for sure.
Yeah, I'll just add, the asks from protocols have mostly been around kind of tracking fundamentals and key KPIs and building out tools that would help ultimately drive the growth and usage of the protocol. So, some of the trading focused questions from, it might be some investment shop or whoever it might be, aren't traditionally our partners. We're focused purely on protocol and the projects in those communities. So yeah, from like a support bounty program, it's less common, but it's there in the data more or less if someone wanted to get their hands dirty.
What about vote analysis data? Is that governance data? Is that something you guys have ever looked at?
Actually just saw a really cool dashboard from one of our analysts looking at exactly that. So, signal votes aren't on chain, but eventually, like when they go to the on chain voting, that stuff is on chain and definitely accessible.
And just to add to that as well, as we get more active in governance forums, that's exactly the types of analyses that we want to kind of be bringing back and being able to provide as a partner. It's just being active in that way and looking at those pieces critically and being able to kind of just provide that to the DAO as a common good and directing that way. That's kind of, those are the kind of questions and things that we want to glean from the community. If that's important, then we obviously want to, start looking at that and digging into it as best we can.
And what other grants do you have active with other communities?
Yep. So we're currently active with Aave, Terra, Thorchain. We have Uniswap bounties live. We just released Lido, Curve, Yearn. So we're running bounties for a number of different programs all at once, and obviously in a scalable way. But yeah, we've structured in a way that we can obviously scale up as we need.
Awesome. And so for the tell me a little bit about why you chose 1 year for the duration of this. Is that like a structural part of like it? It's hard to make the case of doing it if it's not something long term, or is that just the number that you just threw out?
No, I think it was a bit of I guess so we spoke to Joe. He had, you can see in the proposal as well.
Mm-hmm.
He was interested in us proposing kind of a simpler version of something we had constructed previously, and a year felt right. At the moment, we want to make sure there's sufficient oversight and accountability. So running a program for a year with an oversight committee gave us, okay, let's run it for a year with a solid leeway to kind of get active, and then at the end of that year, we can kind of reevaluate. I think it put some guardrails on the proposal. I believe it made it a little more palatable for the ecosystem and the community just to understand what we're doing and know that there's a place to have that accountability and review at the end of a year. And we're open to larger constructs if it's appropriate, but I think we want to make sure that we're doing right by the community first and constructing something that everyone's super comfortable with. And so, yeah, I think a year just felt right within the confines of discussions when Joe and Nomikaze and us were kind of working through it.
Yeah, I think that is a fine number duration to start with, especially with the oversight committee. Now, can you walk me and listeners through sort of how the oversight would work? Like just as a hypothetical, say you guys like ghosted Sushi. I'm not like I don't think that's is ever going to happen, but just as a hypothetical, so we can understand sort of what type of payment structure and everything that we're proposing. And I'm assuming that there will be like a Sablier and there'll be some multi-sig that could potentially pull the authorization on the Sablier or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. We haven't really defined the exact parameters for how this in particular would work. I envisioned it as, a multi-sig where whoever we put onto the oversight committee from the Sushi community will have oversight over that, and whatever form or payment frequency makes everyone comfortable. If it's an allocation every month for the programs that we want to run, if it's quarterly, so that we're not going anywhere. But if for this peace of mind that if after 9 months something happened, you could revoke the remaining funds, like we're open to constructing like that. It's really it's not something that we're worried about because we know we can get it right. But yeah, I think a combination of multi-sig and is correct, and obviously just having the right folks on the oversight committee. And that was actually a question that I had for you guys and the community would be, we obviously would want Joe or Omikaze or folks on the committee, but I think it's important to have community folks as well. So Orion, Magic Turtle, Tangle, like if you guys want to be on there as well, we're open to it. If you have any thoughts on what would make you guys most comfortable with the oversight, we'd love to get feedback there and incorporate and get anyone on who seems like a right fit.
Well, I mean, I would be flattered to be on there. I will say that I would throw the other samurais ahead of me because I think they're like Pegbit and Maka, and there's a number of samurais and that are just fantastic. I think smarter than me.
Cool.
I don't know, Pegbit, or Maka, do you guys have an opinion on that? Do you not want to be in that type of position? They're ghosting me. Feels bad, man.
I think that it particularly has some synergy to have the samurais on it because they're also kind of some of the people who have the responsibility to get this information that this dashboard might have in infographics or in tweets or in whatever in Discord out to the public.
Yeah, I'd be up for that. Or PegTeg, I think would be great also. I definitely think it would be cool to do, and I really like what Avi's talking about.
Awesome, thank you. To that end as well, while we have you guys, I think one of the pieces that in our conversations with Joe and Omikaze that was called out was making it really easy for the community to submit analyses that they want to see. I think one of the things that we've done previously is have a Notion doc or a Google Doc up where anyone can go in and submit ideas or things they'd want to see, and we can obviously create more constructs around how we prioritize those. We could even start coming to community calls to discuss if it was appropriate, whatever. But do you guys have any idea on how you may want to construct that if we were to launch this and say we had a portal where people could submit analyses? Maka, if you were on the committee, do you have a preferred method? Do you like Notion? Do you want to set up a Google Doc? Do you guys have something else that you might want to use?
We can set up some kind of platform
Okay.
where they can just submit what they want to see, and we can redirect it to you. We can actually build that on Summarize. It's not a problem at all.
Yeah, I was thinking it sounds very similar to the features.samurai.
Indeed.
.io.
Yeah, this is a great way to just blend all that in. 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. We would be happy to support getting that built in anyway.
Nice, man. I like it.
Very cool.
I've been really enjoying what I've been hearing. Avi, how would a member of the sushi community listening be onboarded to the team as an analyst, or where should we be looking?
Yeah. So right after this, you're reminding me, you're calling me out a little bit. I should have had these links ready, but I will drop them in either AMA text questions or wherever appropriate. It's super easy to onboard. It's a simple link, set up a username, and then you'll immediately have access to all of our data tables and visualization solutions, API, et cetera. So I can provide that as well as a link to, we have a pretty extensive Notion doc that lists all of our active bounties, and you can start to participate through that right away. The last thing I would say, we have a really active Discord. That's where lots of the magic happens. So I would say, yeah, join our Discord, get access to your free account and all the data, and then check out the Notion doc. I don't know, Drake, while you're there, if you want to maybe, if you can find the sign up link for us, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'm on it, Avi.
Thank you, sir.
Makes sense. Thank you. Tangle, I'd want to have these guys on for an AMA.
Yeah, we could look at something. Absolutely.
We're in. Let's go.
I'll reach out to you guys after.
Cool.
Oh God, I had something on the tip of my tongue, and it just kept slipping out of my fingers. Oh, okay. It was about the snapshot. So what is your guys' plan right now in terms of, like, I guess, timeline in terms of when you guys will move forward with a snapshot vote? Also, if somebody requested to speak, I missed it, please put your hand back up right now.
Yeah, great question. So in terms of that, we wanted to make sure there was enough time for the post to percolate on the forums. I think we've gotten some awesome feedback there, and hopefully, maybe we drum up a bit from this call. Second thing was just to join the call here and make sure that we're getting as much feedback as we can from the community. I think after this, we'll go back and feel like incorporate any other feedback. If we are in a good place, I think we'll work with Joe to get the snapshot live. Within due time. I could see sometime next week, depending on any additional feedback that we get. But I think we're eyeing the right time to get that live.
Awesome. Oh, we got a couple people raising their hands now. After I invite you up, I think you have to go click another button at the top, some sort of.
Yeah. There you go.
These are the guys who I thought was you, because they work with data analysis too.
Right.
Go ahead, Elijah.
Yeah, hi everyone. Yeah, so we're in a similar line, slightly different. Elijah and myself, Max, we're working right now under the name Armada Research, and basically what we do is look at dexes like Sushi Swap and kind of look at where all the liquidity is allocated on the dex and run algorithms that try to tell us where liquidity could be better used in order to lower fees on the network. That's our kind of what we've been doing so far. We built an algorithm over the summer to do that. And Elijah tweeted about it and got a lot of interest from people, including Maki. And we're actually applying for a grant at Sushi. We've talked about it a couple times before on this community call, but we're going to be moving our governance proposal onto the chain today or tomorrow. So we're coming to answer any questions about it and provide more information. And yeah.
I'm curious, do you guys have you put the snapshot up yet? I assume you have not.
Yeah, it's not up right now. We have a forum post with like some of the basics about what we want to do, but we've been working a lot recently and kind of have some things to add to it and some things to revise, and we just wanted to finalize everything before putting it on chain.
I guess I still had a question for Avi. I know one person in the thread did brought up oh, this grant size seems large, which I didn't quite agree with, but I thought it'd be worth asking you what are the different hourlies that you kind of mentally assign to a small bounty versus a expertise required bounty, just to give the listeners some general view of how the money is being allocated?
Yeah, that's a great question. And yeah, to concerns about size. I mean, in the grand scheme, the larger programs yield the better results, and we scale them up. I think we've proven kind of the fundamental value of of them, and so I'm glad to hear kind of you understand that sizing here is, I think, appropriate. But yeah, so it's probably not the best person to put hourly rates on things. We have our bounty ops manager would probably get in the weeds, but I can say for most easy and hard bounties, we give analysts a week to complete them. So we'll release bounties sometime within a week, early or whatever, and give them a week. For harder, elite bounties and maybe some particular harder bounties, we'll give up to 2 weeks. And so, obviously, I think the market and the community analysts are setting the market for hourly rates more or less, right? Like if we're paying out easy bounties and they're taking people 20 hours, they're going to complain and ask for more or tell us that this is not an easy one. So I think we've kind of honed that in terms of the fees or the rewards that we're paying for work within that week range, and how much they're earning if they're rewarded has kind of found a bit of an equilibrium. So I hope that clears up a little bit of what you're asking.
Mac, I don't think your mic's working.
Sorry. Yeah. I was just reading some of this stuff in their forum. I missed the question if it was for me. I was just listening to him talk at the time. What was the question?
No, I think it was just because your mic was going off. And
you
same
were
with
just
Zappuccini.
activated, and I thought you were trying to talk.
No. I've got it. I've got a mute on my headset, so I just use that.
Yeah, I don't know. It was doing it for Avi earlier, and Zappuccini's doing it now too. But all good, all good.
It's just fashionable.
Is this just us breathing? Are we breathing heavy?
No one can hear me, that's for sure.
Elijah, there I see that you mentioned about the Trident stuff too. That's cool. That because I think last time you were on, we were kind of discussing your thoughts around that as well. And thank you for dropping the link there in the AMA text questions as well.
Yeah, sometime today or tomorrow, actually, I'll be posting about some Desmos models of like sushi swap weighted pools. Just stuff that like you could toy around with some of the visuals, like get an idea of like how different weights affect the different costs involved with trading. And yeah, I just have a few models that hopefully I could get out to the community within a day or two. Just need to do some like last minute checking. But yeah.
Have you looked at all at either like the Uni V3 pools or bouncer pools that have different dynamics than the current sushi paradigm? Basically, things that are more similar to what Trident will be producing.
Yeah, so actually all of the Desmos models are weighted pools that we've been working on. I actually made a post today on Twitter. I'll link it in the chat. Like doing research on balancer pools. But yeah, we're gonna start with like weighted pools, then move to multi-token weighted pools, and then some of the more Uniswap V3 stuff like concentrated liquidity. But we're definitely focused on like tackling everything one step at a time. This way we could just integrate whatever we work on next into what we already have.
Yeah, and I think Trident is a really exciting opportunity for what we do, because we're basically trying to build the best sushi swap that there can be. And if we have more building blocks to play with, so for example, we have the multi-pools with weights on them, we have the concentrated liquidity similar to Swap V3, we have stablecoin pools like Curve. Once we have those building blocks, there's a lot more space to explore and even more room to make a difference by optimizing over that space.
Once again, anyone in the crowd want to join in on this conversation or any of our conversations past, just raise your hand.
Elijah and Max, I see that you're posting some Twitter links and AMA text questions. Thank you for that. Do you guys have like documentation somewhere to look at the algorithm you guys are running?
Yeah, so there's a GitHub with the first version of the algorithm, which I can link in there. And then we also have an original Twitter post. So this was the Twitter post that I originally made that Max referenced earlier. And like the whole reason why we got involved with sushi in the first place was because Maki and DeLong reached out to us about making a proposal and like bringing this to sushi because we had done all of this work for sushi this summer, and like ran all of the data on the sushi decks and kind of just taking it to the next level. So I'll link the tweet and then I'll also link the original GitHub repository. Right now, we're just like cleaning up a new one and just like iteratively improving it. And we actually just brought on a financial engineering master's to help us with a lot of the optimization. And we're kind of also taking into account, which one thing we haven't done in the first iteration is the actual risk associated with moving liquidity from one edge to another. So we have someone who has background in like stochastic modeling and probability, and so he's going to focus on some of the more practical elements. So when we do find this optimal liquidity allocation, like what transitions, right? What edges should we reallocate to liquidity to that don't just make sense for the people that are trading on those edges, but also the people that are providing the liquidity. So we're looking to take a more holistic perspective of all of that stuff. None of that is featured in this post and in the GitHub, but those are definitely things that we're building out and are going to be in the what we're integrating with sushi.
Gotcha. That makes sense. That's all really high quality work.
And Pegbit and Maca, I guess you guys are probably the best to comment on this. What is the sort of current state or direction that the samurais are taking for a like the Wikipedia or not necessarily a Wikipedia, but a like a FAQ sort of website?
So currently, like we're building out the knowledge base.
Yeah.
So we also have it's the main platform. Like right now, like it's like the feature specs are being decided. So there's like a lot of like other components that are being added. So once we finish up all of these, I think like the first version will be deployed like soon.
And yeah, we've just been banging out content, boy. We've also got to outsource some, but you know, me, RSK, and HK just filling up stuff to give to Peg to incorporate with it. The wiki stuff is a little bit separate, I think.
I can walk you through like what we have right now. So we're actually building like working on like building an academy like Sushi 101. Then we have like the main like site where like so the main idea was to like move support out of Discord, right? So like self-serve content plus like actually having the support through like live chat and like ticketing and all that stuff. So that'll be like the second phase, and then like we're also building like a few other monitoring tools to like track errors and stuff alongside like what we shared like features. And then we're also releasing like a weekly newspaper like uh I think like from like I think like in the next week most probably.
This is very cool.
Oh, we got a sushi newspaper now.
Sushi
Times.
I can share like an alpha like how it'll look like.
Is it going to be an NFT? Please let it be an NFT.
Oh no, it's gonna be a total web page like a real newspaper, you know.
But think of
Okay, I put it on AMA text.
Yeah, post the example.
just think of the royalties, man.
Yeah, so this actually aligns with the Keisha Club proposal. So once you whitelist like a few authors and stuff, we can have like people come and like contribute to this, and and make it like success. It's gonna be really cool, like, where anybody can like post. So idea is to like actually not just like include sushi ecosystem articles, but also like in general, DeFi in general.
Yeah, he'll be the New York Times of DeFi.
Yeah, we're
Good
gonna
stuff.
call it Sushi Times.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Awesome. Perfect. Okay,
Yeah.
but I'm telling
It's
you,
just still up.
we gotta have an NFT version of the weekly release. Okay, and you can mint it, but you can only mint it for that week, and then on the next week, you can never mint the previous week's edition ever again.
Can we do this?
We can think about it. Let's
Let's burn some more ETH.
Well, that's fantastic. I definitely want to learn more about the Sushi Times and maybe even contribute. I think I'm terrible at writing, but maybe I could get into it.
You just hard on yourself with everything, man. Like, definitely get involved. We would love it.
I just put a picture on the AMA text chat. You can see like how it is going to look like. Did you get that uploaded? Yeah. Okay.
Yep, looks great. Looks cool.
Hell yeah.
I like it, but can we turn it into a bento box?
All right. Well, I think this is getting close to a good time to wrap up for this week. If anybody wants to bring up any other topics, feel free to. I don't want to cut anybody off.
In the news part, I think we left out that we got some UI upgrades. That was
Oh, they are nice. I love them.
What were the changes?
in the farm mode. It shows like values and other stuff. Sorry, I'm getting echo, so I was gonna let other people talk.
Yeah, I was looking last night. There was a few things. I'm gonna try to get in there. Yeah, it was in the farming sections.
Yeah. Basically, like there's a lot of information that you would only see if you unstaked and then looked in the pools tab, and I think it shares that information with you just in the general farming page. But I haven't unstaked or anything, or I haven't played with it too much yet.
Yeah, just like when you get into your farm, it'll
lot of
break
time.
down like manage position and harvest your rewards right from there, just like a different little UI thing. And I thought there was something else with like the pool when you pool them together. I thought that's where I saw something. No, maybe not. Maybe I'm mixed up on that. But yeah. A few little things that just sneak in there every so often. Oh yeah, with the cashew farms, that's also I think a new like a UI update anyways. I think that is. Anyway.
Oh,
I think that's new as well,
yeah,
isn't it?
I'm pretty sure that is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah, there it is.
And
In
that
your
was that
Sushi Swap
incentivized.
farms. Yeah, when you do the farms there and you click on it, you can see liquidity staking, and then yeah, that's nice. Investment details. Management position. Yeah, sweet.
All right. Well, I'm gonna call it here for this week. Thank you everybody for coming out. Thank you, Avi, Danner, Elijah, Max, Pegbit, Maka. Thank you guys for coming out. Appreciate you immensely.
Thank you all very much for having us. This was awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the snapshots upcoming. That should be very exciting.
Get your X
I
sushis
guess
ready.
something we didn't touch on. Any AMAs, Tangle?
Nothing. Actually, this was a really quiet week here. Just a few things got postponed, and yeah, hopefully next week we've got a couple things coming up. I will keep everyone posted. Of course, heads up in the calendar channel for to add your sesh links like that, and of course, yeah, I'll be posting stuff on Twitter as well. 0xtangle. Follow me there. Yeah, and then just make announcements in the announcements channel. It's kind of like the main place that you can find all that. I'll keep you guys posted for next week, and yeah, Avi and Danner will have a chat here as well.
Thanks, y'all. Appreciate it.
All right, awesome. Thank you all for coming out, and I'll catch you next week, same place, same time, 9 p.m. UTC.
Peace and gratitude.
Take care, everyone.